Are we really recording? We're recording. We're at 3 seconds. 2 seconds. 5, 6, go. Hi Flosstube, it's Jenny from the Bougie Stitchers, and I'm alone today. My sister has, I can't see with my glasses on. I can't see with them off either, so I guess we'll see what happens today. My sister is working. She's working a lot. I don't know. She never rests. I think Nancy's afraid if she sits idle, she won't start moving again. I don't know. But so I called her and said, hey, I think I'm going to do a whip parade. I have 34 whips. I thought I had 50. I mean, I probably could have 50. No, I know. I have way more than that. But I did some thinking about my stitching. Fair. I have 34 whips. I have keeps, discard, and update. Those are my 3 categories of these 34 whips. I have 5 from my 24 starts in 24. Some of them are finishes, not of the 5, but of my 24 and 24. We'll talk about those plans because those are not part of the 34, but will be added to the 34 before the end of the year. And then I have 9 kits that I want to start that have been in the stack. So I have 3 baskets that I keep in my room, plus 1 I keep by my stitchy spot. And the basket by my stitchy spot is really like this big. It's big enough to slide my project folder in. Boop. So what I thought I'd do is talk about my whips. I received a new lamp from BenQ. It's the reading lamp that I did a separate video on like many moons ago. It's still up on the channel, but it's like one of the first ones that we did. But they sent me an updated lamp. And so I'll talk about that as we go along. Right now it's the extra light that you see shining. So I do have some shadows in the background, but I thought maybe it's the exact same lamp minus the arm, and the arm has made a ton of difference. So I will probably insert a video here to maybe do you a side-by-side and show you, or if I don't do a side-by-side, I'll definitely show you the features of the lamp that I really enjoy. The BenQ light, they sent this to us, so it is, but they sent it to us and told me to be honest and to give true feedback. Rebecca was really great when she talked to me about it. This is the second one they've sent us. There's 2 of us, so we'll share. But I will tell you, I love this one so much more than I love the first one. This part's the same. This part's the same, the on-off button. That's all it is, on-off. This part, okay, let me turn it on. This part, this dimming and changing the intensity of the light, fabulous. I use my BenQ light every day. This is number 2. What's different about this one is the arm, this piece. My other one is just this straight piece with this on the top of it. This extension, game changer. I'm going to be honest with you. I love it. I would not pay for it because it's expensive. That's not true. If it were the spend that I wanted to spend it on and they did not send it to me, I would probably buy it. But it's $200, $249, something like that. It's an investment. But for your eyesight, you got to have a stitchy light. I need a stitchy light. I don't normally wear glasses full time. These are readers. I put them on when I'm stitching and when I'm reading, books. I have to have my glasses on. I don't drive with them, but this light, stitching on 36 count, I don't need magnification. I just need this light. That's all I use. And my glasses, but if I'm stitching on 14 count, I'm using my glasses too. So I have 20/15 vision. I just have astigmatism, and so I need my glasses. And so, yes, do I like the BenQ light? Absolutely, love it. I love my options. Easy on, easy off. This is not a carry. This is really your on-off switch. So I tell people that took a little bit to get used to, but nothing you can't handle. It is LED, not hot. It's been on for the entire video that you're about to venture into if you're going to watch it. And, you know, not hot. LED. It's got a very heavily weighted base. So once you get it set, you don't have to worry about it getting knocked over. I don't know. It's a go. I would, like I said, love it. The expense is I mean, that's the only thing that I would tell you. The expense is, it's expensive. But and they didn't give us a Q code or anything to go with it. They just asked us to review their product and if we would talk about it in one of our videos. And we said, sure. I said, sure. Nancy was like, if you want me to talk about it, I will. I'm like, you know what? I'm a user of it, so I'll give my honest opinion, and that's it. I love it. And, you know, you'll see it in our videos because I think I really like the way it provided light, so we'll keep using it. Until then, back to our back to our new whip. My whips. Ooh, pack a lunch. I think it's going to be a long one. Hi, let's get started with the whips. All right, so my first whip is held in this bag, and this bag was made for me by Sandy. And Sandy is Stitching with Sandy Alba. Most of you, I'm sure, follow her. She's a kindergarten teacher. She has so many talents. I think she's even got, she started quilting. She's been a cross stitcher for years, but she started quilting, and now I think she's into punch needle. Like, the woman has no ends to her talent. Oh, no, it's not punch needle, it's felting or something. It has to do with felt. I don't really remember. Gosh, I'm a horrible friend. I don't remember. But she has so many talents, and she just says, hey, I'm going to start this, and hey, I'm going to practice this, and oh, look. And she has a video, a Zoom time that she does. And so it's the second and fourth Sunday of every month. So if you're interested in stitching with some friends, you should pop over and see her channel. All right, so first whip. On the docket is by the Bay Needler. Good gravy. See, that's why I need my glasses. This is what my sister does. My sister keeps me on track. By the Bay Needle Art. I was going to say needle heart. I knew my vision was not picking up all the letters right. It's called Butt God. This still is a stitch along because a lot of us are still stitching on it though. Holly from Hobbies of Holly is done with hers. I think she even has it FFO'd. But I changed my colors. Can you see it? Do I have it in the picture? All right. And so I picked a Bestitch Me 28 count. I think it's 28 count. No, it's not. It can't be 28 count. It's got to be a 30. Hang on. I have it in here somewhere. 32 count Live and Die LA. See, I don't even have the right fabric. 32 count Live and Die LA Oatmeal Lugana. And I decided at one point in time I was doing 32 count, and then I went right to 36. So when I went through my whips, that was a big factor on what I thought about them. But what I did is I picked none of the called for colors. No, that's not true. Maybe the greens are called for, but I've been changing those up as we go along too, so they're different. But these are my colors. And it really started with I wanted to brighten it up a little bit because those just aren't really, those colors didn't speak to me. Though the people who stitched the colors, their projects are beautiful. So I'm changing nothing but all the colors. Like the sheep are supposed to be white, right? Like white sheep, white fence, but white doesn't show up at all on this. So I changed my fence to brown and my sheep to gray. So I love it. And I have the perfect spot for it. So I really want to get back to it and get it done. This one's a keeper. Check. All right. Just going to toss these down here and pray that the mess will pick itself up later. All right. My second one is so close to a finish. It is a Twin Peak Primitive. It is 31st of October. I started this last year for my October stitch. Maybe somewhere in there. And I have taken my time doing it. This is another Live and Die LA. I think it's a 32 count. Maybe. I was supposed to write all this stuff down. Clearly I failed. Anyway, Live and Die LA. I'm using the called for colors, white and black. And I picked this cranberry sauce because it reminded me of blood. I mean, just how fun is that not to sit out in your stitchy spot? I literally only have fill-in. Why is this not done? Because I have 34 that are in some state that I keep thinking, I can just get it done. I'll just sit down one evening and get it done. And then I don't do it. And then I do end up getting, when I do sit down to it, I just get focused on it, and that's what I do. So, but this is her cranberry. Is it not fabulous? I think a lot of people thought it was like really Christmassy because of cranberry, but it screamed the perfect Halloween stitch to me. So that's what I did. They did it on a tan, which is cute too, but I just wanted the color. I don't even know why. But this bag is the bag we talk about. My friend Cynthia from here in Wyoming that we met at the Crazy Woman retreat, she made it, and it was a bag swap. And I saw her put that bag up there, and I ran. I mean, I think I pushed my sister out of the way for it. That's how much I wanted that thing. So we've talked about it though in our previous Flosstubes. Not one of my prouder moments, but I'm glad I got it. All right. That's a keeper. That's 2, 3. I started this one twice. I am finishing it because I love it, and I want to put it somewhere in this room of many things that make me happy. And this is Resting Stitch Face by Hands On Design. I am not using all the colors, but I think I pulled the colors and I've added, or I've changed out, or I've changed a little. The thing is when I started this, I was new. I was new to changing out my colors, and I didn't quite understand cool and warm, and I didn't quite understand the things you needed to think about, which is pretty much cool and warm, and how you want that contrast to be. And I was watching Sandy from Stitching with Sandy, and she talks about the color wheel, and then I was like, that's the piece I did not think about. I was just trying to find colors that I liked. But then when I found colors that I liked and they were in the right hues, warm, cold, it all kind of clicked. So this is my current palette. I love it. It's just all DMC. This is my second start, like I said, and I'm going to finish it. It's it looks like it's going to be such a quick stitch. This is my progress. I should be able to get it done, right? I'm not giving up on it. I do love it. Kathy from Hands On Design is one of my favorite designers. I have a few favorites right now. I think you'll see them start to emerge as I show you all my whips, but she's one of the OGs in my mind. All right, this one. I can't stop this one. So we've talked about our friends stitch along. We had some friends, Nancy and Jody from Trixie Tricycle, and a few others. We started on this trip, and then a couple of them had to drop out. So we had to find 2 more stitchers to jump into our stitch. So Alexa from My Amazing World, Jody from Trixie Tricycle, myself, and Nancy, Melissa from Stitching with Mel, and Angie from I was going to give Angie a new name. Angie from Tiny House Stitcher are all working on our ladies. And we've all done kind of our own thing. Nancy's been pretty consistent. I think I might be breaking a rule or something in Flosstube, but this is my friend Jody's. I love it. She's also dyeing fabric. We start these new things in our lives. But here's where we're at with this one. This is what I have. None of this is my stitching. I will be right here. This is my spot and my lady. And what I think is amazing is we've all adapted up. The pattern is pretty much what it is, but we've adapted our pattern. See, this is what it's supposed to look like. But I got to pick a lady. I don't know, when they said, which one do you want to stitch? I said, I'll do A or B. And I think I got stuck with, I guess, A. But in my mind, she's kind of who I am. I love wearing sundresses just like that. The hat's not my cup of tea. At the time, my hair looked just like that. So she fit me just perfect. What I decided to do is I've got a set of colors here. And then, oops, lost my scissors. And then I've just been adding colors as, Nancy usually does this for me, as I'm jibber jabbing. I add whatever colors I think might complement this. Now Jody is a retired now firefighter, and so I think that's why she picked her flame. So I just want to pick something that will complement what she did and stick it over here. In my mind, that works. So I'm super excited to get this back on my docket, and it's a quick car stitch. So maybe, you know, if you're gonna have a car trip, I could take it because it's on Aida. When we originally started, some of the ladies did not stitch on. Somebody's stopping outside. Some of the ladies didn't stitch on even weave, and Aida was. So we have all different sizes of Aida on it. All right, this one makes me so happy. I'm not gonna lie, I've started it twice. This is, I think, the third time I've started him. So this is, this is a Dirty Annie. Feed me and tell me I'm pretty. I've already taken the other two starts out. This is what I thought I was going to stitch it on. And as I was looking through my whips today, I decided I'm not stitching it on this. So it is a whip. I am going to keep, it's a whip because I've started it twice, but I'm going to find the right kind. I got 2 pieces of linen, 36 count from Trixie Tricycle. And I think coffee is going to be the perfect stitch on this. So when it comes back into the rotation, you'll see it. I will talk about it. I'll pull that. Our next floss tube is the floss tube that I will show that on when Nancy and I are together. We talk a little bit about haul. And that will come back into the rotation. This just happens to be the bag that Nancy made for me. And I love it. That's what I miss. When these things sit in my basket, I don't get to see the things that I love about them. So I'm super excited to see the things I love about them. All right, let's switch. Oh, this one is Christmas. Yes. This one's getting a revamp. This was one of my very first, when I hadn't been stitching a year when I started this. And I love it. This is Silver Creek Sampler's Christmas list. My Christmas list. It's a big girl. But it doesn't sing for me. And it's not that I don't think the stitching isn't good enough, or I think it's the fabric. It's not my favorite. I thought it was going to be fabulous. And again, this is when I didn't know about floss toss, and this is when I didn't know how you can ensure that your colors meet, which for me, it's just to like stitch a little. If I think a color is going to be close, like with this white, I would have stitched a line and realized that this fabric wasn't going to work. And I say a line like 5 or 6 stitches. Complete stitches, not 10 stitches, which are those half stitches, the complete X. It didn't work. It's cute as a button. I mean, if somebody wants it, leave me a comment, and the next time we do it, just put Christmas in. Let me make a note of that one before I say that. I'm making promises and I don't even know. Anyways, if you are interested, I will. If I'm sending it to you, I'm only sending you this. It's Aida. If you're an Aida stitcher and you love this, I might stitch it again on Aida, but what I want to do is just pick a different color because it doesn't sing to me. So, but the pattern sings to me, and the color choices that she picked sing to me, and it's all. I think I just kitted it all up in DMC. Yeah, I did. It's all DMC. Like these all speak to me. I think, I think she's a beautiful designer, Diane, but just not my pick for fabric. And that's okay. Had I got it done when I first started stitching, I would have probably powered through and it had been hanging on my wall by now. Maybe not. All right. Oh man, this one. This is made for me. This bag is made for me by Tammy. She's a North Dakota Stitcher, quilter, so many talents. This is a kit. This is a kit that Sarah from Sarah Memphis. Did I say that wrong? Is it Sarah? Sarah, I'm sorry. I don't know why I always get your name wrong. I say it wrong because I put it all in the wrong spots. No, I think it's Sarah Memphis. I can't look because I'm recording on my phone. But this is Marty, our Christmas moose. I love him. I love him. I hate stitching on this fabric. This is where I am. I cannot get this fabric. I hate it. Hate's a strong word for me. I just assume frog it and start over. That's what I'm going to do. I saw on Facebook where, oh, my coffee has arrived. You can come in, honey. I've been waiting patiently for this cup of coffee. Do you want to make a hello?
Hello, everybody.
It's my coffee maker. The man of my dreams. You can leave now. I'm talking to myself and I'm really having a hard time with this. He's over there going. He had to give blood this morning. So I'm like, oh, I won't have coffee till you do. I get 1 cup a day. I get 1 cup because I got a little heart thing going. And so, and I've had it for a while. It's fine. It's under control. But it just does what it wants to do when it wants to do it. So it's kind of scary when it happens. I'm used to it now. I like to say they took my uterus and they gave me an extra heartbeat. I don't know what happened. All right, so Marty's gonna get new fabric. I saw somebody stitch it on a fabric that had like dots on it, and I loved it. So I gotta find the right stitch count, which I think I'm gonna try to do 32 on him. I think that's 16, so I think 32 will be fine. I just gotta find a piece, a big enough, and an order. It'll all work out. He makes the most amazing coffee. My sister's not wrong. Oh, I love this one. I love him. But I just had a lot going on. So I started to model stitch for Annie, the proper stitcher. I love doing it. That is like the most rewarding, fun thing to do, is to model stitch for somebody, to see their designs come to life. And Annie doesn't stitch them before she sends them. Like, she just sends them, and then we get to talk about her design and we get to talk about things. And I just really enjoy, doing that. So when she asks, oh, that's a hard word to say, if I'll do it, I'm like, heck yeah. And so my personal stitching gets set aside for a little bit, like not long, because she's never sent me a big girl. She's only sent me petite girls. I'll just say that. They're not big girls, they're little ones, and they're fun to stitch, and they take me a few, probably less than a week to do. So, but I put my stuff aside. So I was trucking right along on him. This is my Christmas parade. I have the one from the year before too, where it's Santa's sleigh, but I don't remember the name of it. It's not in here, I don't think. And I want to do that one too. They're not really companion pieces, so I don't want them to be matchy-matchy. But I had I picked my own fabric. It is a Bestitch Me fabric. Most of my fabric is Bestitch Me because I'm in the club and I try to use what she sends me. And this is all the wider it is. Let's see if I can get it in the frame. This is all the wider he is. And I just started stitching, right? His beard's off and his tummy's off. His jacket, you can see I had to flub him a little bit to get him to meet, but he just looks like he's got a big booty. He's fine. I try, if I know it's gonna matter, I will frog and fix. But if I can flub, I will. Or fudge it, I will. So he makes me happy. I've got all the called for in here. This is a my dot, no. I'm trying to, oh wait, I know whose it is. It's a Gamma Treasures. It's a Gamma Treasure bag. She sends these fabulous thread beds. I have to have a thread bed because this is what my thread ends up looking like. It's the only place I allow myself to be messy in my kits. And, well, apparently Nancy usually grooms them and hands them to me, so clearly I'm not doing a very good job. But it's DMC. I know I was stitching this with Stacy Clark from Thread Thy Needle Stitchery. Hers is done. She did a fabulous change. Santa's jacket, I think she used a cottage garden thread, and it looks fabulous. But hers is done, so if you want to see what hers looks like, you can pop over. I think we had a hashtag Christmas Parade, Sal. I'm hoping to leave him out work on him in Christmas in July, maybe on a weekend or so, and get him back in the rotation and maybe have him done. Maybe. Oh, this one, I'm a hot mess. So, last year I went to Steve's Christmas or holiday party, and it was fun. But what made it so much fun is he has a coworker named Leslie, and Leslie is a stitcher, and she started stitching about the same time I do. She's also a quilter. And so sometimes I think I should work with my husband just so I can spend more time with Leslie. No, that is not true. I do not want to work with my husband. But when we went there, Leslie took an afternoon off, and we went to this tiny little craft shop. It's called Beaver Creek Arts and Crafts. If you live in Beaver Creek, Ohio, you probably know about it. She has things from the 1970s, I swear. Maybe the 80s, I don't know. And she just keeps her stock, and she just rotates them, and she has an amazing system. It's just this back room. We spent the entire day there, and then we went to her house and we hung out. We had a blast. But to say that, I had a ton of Mill Hill kits. A ton. I've not gotten very far on this one because here's my deal. I do not like stitching on perforated paper. One, I didn't start in the center. I now know how to start in the center on a Mill Hill kit. I did not start in the center. So I'm 100% sure I'm not going to have room to do all the things I'm supposed to do. Okay. So I thought, all right, no big deal. I have a piece of red fabric. Not in love with it. I probably should only have used one thread. Instead I'm using two. One strand of thread versus two. So I have to do some thinking on this. I am going to do it. I want to do it. I was going to do this to practice beading before I started my mirror. I've already started my mirror. Not beaded on her yet. But to me, it's a good plan. Just not well executed. I'm getting my hair trimmed next week so this little Clark Kent curl can go away. Well, where are we at? Witchy Wash is, I'm on 10. Oh my gosh, I'm 21 minutes in. I'm showing you 10 things. This was one of my very first. So, Wishy Wash is, I don't know. I don't know. She just makes me happy. Only it's one of my first ones. Again, I didn't understand where to find the fabric. I do now. I wasn't a big 1, 2, 3 stitch person at first because I didn't understand it. But I am so close to this being done. I don't know why I just don't do it. I just need to do it. I'm literally on a cape and a tree branch and the top part. I again changed the colors on this to colors that I had. I didn't buy what was needed. And I just need to do it. I just need to stop and do it. I have all of these. I have the leprechaun. I have the Easter bunny, or not, the Easter bunny, the leprechaun, Santa. I want to put them in my laundry room. Yes, I decorate my laundry room. But how fun. And I just need to get them done. These are my Raise the Roof. Again, called for colors. No, I did not use the called. Maybe I did. Or maybe I used, if it was a green, I tried to find the closest green I could have at the time. Because at that time, I was like, oh, I don't want to be wasteful. I want to be a monogamous stitcher. That was like my first 3 months in. I'm going to be a monogamous stitcher. Yeah, whatever. That went out the door faster than somebody with their pants on fire. Which is probably fast. All right, what's this? Oh, all right. So I don't know if my friends are going to watch this, but these are coming. I have been secretly stitching on these for my friends. I think this is 4 of 6 that I've got done. It's the same thing, but it's a gift, and I want to get them done. So I got this pattern. I think it keepsakes. No. Oh, reflections. So they're coming along, and I just literally picked scraps of white that I had from other projects. And so I just gotta get it done. I'm not saying who they're for, but I gotta get them done. Well, someday you'll get one and you'll be surprised. All right, this was my first round robin. So I'm trying to remember why. Oh, it was June of Colorado Cross Stitchers summer camp. It was her first one. And there was a lady in Omaha, and she said, hey, would anyone like to do round robin? I'll set it up. And I was like, oh, I've never done that. Again, I have FOMO, fear of missing out. I had to do all the things. So I jumped on. And this is what cracks me up. The lady had some health issues. So we all totally understood. So she had to drop out. But the way the rotation had gone is she got a finished piece because we all decided we'd finish it for her since she had health scares. I think everyone else, so one lady just sent, she's like, hey, this is a collaboration. Here's all these things. Pick what you want, put it on here, and I'll finish it. So her name was Teresa, and she finished it. And it was gorgeous. I want to say the other lady in our group did a really good job of, hers was either done or she just had a quick stitch. Well, mine is called Winter Snow Gnomes. My youngest loves gnomes. He loved gnomes before gnomes were cool to love. And so I think what I'm going to do is stitch this. So we all did one, and this guy's are the last guy to be done. It's an easy pattern to stitch, and I've loved it. So what I did is I'm going to show you the back side, is I found an alphabet that was a freebie on somebody's website, and I cut it out so that everybody could use or not use it if they wanted to. Everybody did. So these are the 3 ladies that stitched it. I think what I'm going to do is make this into a project bag with the 3 of us that we stitched on. I did stitch all this out here, but that's okay. And then maybe I will just call her done. Because I was like, oh, I'll stitch the 4, but I don't know if Drew will ever, like, it'll end up, it means something to me. I don't know that Drew will care about it because my friend's initials that stitched on it are on there. So I think what I'm going to do is just make it into a project bag, and it'll be something I can cherish because I have a couple other stitches in here that Drew someday may want, may or may not. It's up to him. All right, what's my next one? Oh, this is my oopsie. So, hands-on design, 31. Love it, love it, love it. I was whipping right along on it. I felt so awesome about it until I realized it's not going to fit. Nope, not even a little bit will this thing fit. So I'm going to cut this out right here and make it into like a little, like, you know, something like that, you know, just something small you can stick out on your, and I'm going to start over on a piece of 28 count that'll work. Oh my gosh, I was cracking myself up. All the called for, all the things. My thread bed, I make them if I don't get one in a kit. This is the bag I made. Not gonna fit. Oh, lost my needle here. I think it's this one. Oops, a daisy. I'll just stick it right here, and then I'll fix it when I'm trying to keep everything in its bag, so that's maybe why it's taking a little longer. Anyways, I got to rethink that one. I got to get a piece of black that's big enough. All right, oh, this is my first. This is the basket of forgotten projects. I love this one. So next year in 25, I'm going to keep my 24 and 24 out that I haven't finished. And so far I have finished like maybe 5 of them, of my 24 and 24. And then I'm going to add my, I'm going to add Thanksgiving and 4th of July, patriotic. Because I decorate my house on Memorial Day, red, white, and blue, and I keep it red, white, and blue until about mid-August. So I bought this a while ago, while I was here. So it was within my first year of stitching. I really do love Twin Peak Primitives. I think their stitches are fun. They're easy to read charts. But I am not in love with 28 count Witchell. Now this is my first time when I dove into even weave. And that's all I've got done. And I can't bring myself to do more, which tells me I should retire this piece of linen or even weave and get something I will stitch it on. And I have plenty of choices. I did use the called for colors. That's not true. I did not. I used an orange for Nancy because she loves orange. And, well, I like blue, but I didn't pick a blue. Oh, yes, I did. I picked this blue right here. What is this blue? 931. So, I was going to do my sister and I, because we are grateful for our journey here on Flosstube, but it is not my cup of tea. No, the pattern is my cup of tea. The flosses are fine. It's the fabric. I don't want to stitch on 28 count even weave for that piece. Because it'll be huge, and I don't want a huge piece. I've got like 3 that I'm going to talk about that are Thanksgiving. That's one of them. All right. Oh, this one. So, this is so funny. You've seen this one if you've followed us for a minute. This is the Philanthropic Pumpkin by Hands On Design. My friend Ruth sent it to me. I am stitching it again. I'm going to stitch it twice because a very special friend's going to get this, the second one. I selfishly want one for me, but the fabric I picked, I mean, you can't tell, but there was plenty of, it's all the DMC, so there's plenty of floss to go with it. I have the kit in here, but what I did is, see, this is the called for. See, I got it all here, but someone has to borrow my pattern. And because it was a gift to me, and I trust the lady who I sent it to, I was like, sure, you can borrow it. And so in order to stitch this, I'm literally looking at this piece. Probably should have been a little smarter and just finished it, knocked it out. But it's pretty repetitive, so, once you get in a groove, and so it's working. It's just taking a little longer than had I kept the pattern. That's okay. That was a choice I made. So she's moving right along in this basket this is my basket that I keep all these miscellaneous. I think I got it at TJ Maxx or something before I moved. I love this one. This is another hands-on design. This is Wolf. I kitted this up at the stitching shop down in Denver, Colorado. It's a block party. This is, I think, my first mushroom Lagana stitch. That's what I think I'm stitching it on. Mushroom Lagana. clearly I have no idea. So I have a friend who sent me a text, the nice lady who was so generous and sent these us these needle minders with our puppies on them. Nancy's got one with Mater, I've got one with Jack. And she's like, do you use them? Do you even still have them? I was like, I do. And I do use it. And I keep it in my favorite stitch. Oh, here it is. Yeah, it's 28 count Mushroom Lagana. I don't know that you have to do these blocks on 28 count. I just like the way they look on 28 count. They do finish a little bigger. I remember I did one on, I think, 18 count Ada, and it stitched it up smaller, and it's not bad. So, you know, whatever floats your boat. I'll have plenty of this left over though, so once I get, because I'm getting there. Where am I on this thing? How far along am I? Am I more than half? Yes. I am more than half. This dog is just over halfway. This dog right here. This little wiener snitchel dude. Dotson. He's a dachshund. Dachshund? Dachshund? I don't know. I'm too afraid that I'm too clumsy to have a little dog. Though my boss's little dog, his name is Bruiser. He's adorable. He's a King Charles Spaniel with a pug mix. He is my boss's son, who's like 5 years older than me, calls him, he's Canardly, because you can hardly stand his looks. But he's so cute. He's got a little beard. Oh my gosh, I don't know, this dog is adorable. Who knew? All right, 3 more in this box, and then we'll take a break, and I'll switch out, and then we'll get started on the 24 and 24. All right. This one I saw from Bougie Stitchers, Laura. She now lives in Utah. She's almost close. Like someday maybe I'll take a trip. No, I will never do that to her. But she said she stitches on this when her and her husband watch Star Trek. So I'm like, that's brilliant. So I cut my piece of fabric. Again, not trusting myself. I cut my piece of fabric. And these are my captains. It's supposed to be centered. Clearly, I did not center it, as you see all the extra fabric on the bottom. That's all right. I'll figure out something to do with the bottom. So this is that 28 count even weave that Hobby Lobby used to sell. It's like my favorite thing to tea dye on. But this was a piece that I just happened to have sitting in my stash. I am using all DMC, all called for colors. So I did get this is from Happy Sloth Patterns. It's an Etsy shop. It's a lot of fun. I'll tell you though, when I get on Etsy, I'm like down a rabbit hole, because then I find all the things. Yep, all the things that I want to stitch. Probably don't need to buy them. I have 5 binders full of patterns. I have a problem. That's a positive problem. I mean, I'm not putting myself in bankruptcy, though my husband will probably tell you different. I'm not out drinking. I'm not out trying drugs. I don't really speed that much. Like, if I gotta have a problem sitting in a room full of floss and fibers, it's fine. It's fine. So, I was on a stitch the other night, and my friend Kia B wants to stitch these. Really? I was so excited. I'm like, I will gift you my patterns when I am done. Now, the thing is, does Kia want to wait till I'm done? Because Lord knows, I'm a hot mess. 1, 2. I'm on part 2. So part 1 is done. A through E. I'm on F through K. I thought in January I'd stitch a block a week. But sometimes when you stitch a block a week, I mean, I'm tired sometimes. Or I'm working on something. Or I have all, I don't want to say excuses. They're not excuses. They're just what it is. But they, you know, sometimes I can stitch a block in a night and a half. Sometimes it takes me 3. So I'm trying to give myself that grace. But, so I have 3 left. I should hopefully be done with 2 before the end of the month, though that is in 2 days, so maybe not. But these are where I'm at. And once I'm done with these two, I'll probably just send them so she can do what she wants with them, and then I will get the rest of them into the mail to her. But super excited. You guys know this is the stitch that my friend Julie said, let's stitch it together. I thought everyone was stitching it together, and it ended up Julie and I are the only ones that bit. But I did get, I'm still not done with Jay. I've got just, oops, sorry about that. If I make you see sick, I apologize. Nancy's so much better. But I have, I'm sorry, I keep using the wrong finger. I have to use this, I gotta get this little block stitched in, and then I can do K. And then I will have 2 rows done and 3 to go. I am using the called for colors. I love wavy navy. It's like my favorite. So it's coming along, and I have the perfect spot right over there that I'm going to get this framed and put it up. So this one stays in my rotation that's close. And it makes me happy. This is the bag I made. There's a mountain of cross stitch over here. My friend Leslie, I talked to you about her earlier. I said, do you know about the Artsy Housewife? She's like, yeah. I'm like, oh my gosh. I don't know. You've heard Nancy and I talk about it. My squadron, when I was a squadron commander, was called the Ravens. And so I have a thing for ravens. I'm fine with crows too. They don't bother me. But here he is. I don't know. He just makes me happy. Oh. I've got maybe, no, I don't want to do them bigger. Nope, no, I'm not changing this. I'm not changing this. This is where I picked a 36 count. I'm going to go with a 36 count. I'm using 1 thread over 2 linen fibers. Oh, no, I did not do the called for, but I did the almost called for. I think the only thing I've got a, oh, this is it. This isn't a limited edition black, and I thought it made the perfect color for the crow. I'm using a bag that my friend Tammy gifted me. If you guys don't know Tammy Ton, she's an amazing enabler, an amazing friend. She's got an amazing sister like I do. Her name is Andrea. So that's what, when I stitch on this, it makes me think of those ladies and my friend Leslie. And so I love to get it out and just put a couple, stitches in it. This one makes me smile. This is a bag that Annie, the Proper Stitcher, sent me for being a model stitcher for her. She was very generous. This is, this comes out. If you were not part of Alicia, the Fancy Full Flamingos pink box, you should be. I don't know if she has any of the next pink box left that'll be shipping soon. But if you're a sampler lover, or you want to try a sampler, and I do, her sampler box that's coming out in September, I think the pre-order closes 30 June. That's right, the end of the month. So get in there and get it ordered. But this was this comes out in 1 July for Annie. She has a website. She has an Etsy, the Proper Stitcher, but you can probably call your LNS or who you use. And the box came with everything but the fiber that you stitched it on. And this is what I picked. And this is where I am. The box also came with Chantel 141. Chantel. I feel horrible when I say people's names wrong. And I second guess myself. And sometimes I have it right, and then I think it's the other way, and then I think, no, I changed that. It's a real problem for me. But I don't like it when people call people honey and dear either, because they don't know their names. I think that's rude. I'll just be honest, I apologize when I say your name wrong, and I will work very hard to get it right. It doesn't bother me when people get my name wrong. They don't usually get my first name wrong, but my last name all the time. But those are the called for colors. They came in the box. I love it. Where are they? Where are they? Oh, here they are. They're all DMC. So I'm excited to get that one. I was going to make that my work stitch, but it's 36 count, and sometimes the light at work isn't that great. So I got to figure out my work stitch because I just finished my work stitch last night. So we'll talk about that on the next Flosstube that Nancy and I do together. All right, I've got 2 more in the whips, and then I'll go to my 24 and 24. And I'm only 44 minutes in. I thought this would be like, I told Nancy, I'm like, it's going to be like hours because, you know, I don't know. I don't have anybody keeping me straight over here or getting me sidetracked over there because Nancy usually sits right here next to me. All right, so these are 2 that I've stitched. These are part of my 24 and 24. These are my June stitches. This one was already a work in progress. This one is what I have under my hoop. Yeah. Oh, sorry. I thought it was upside down. And so here she is, or he. My friend Kathy from 2 Needles Pulling Thread, she has these done. Are they not fabulous? This is my Needle Minder by Rebel Stitcher. I love him. This is just 2 days of stitching. Like it is so fun to stitch. But this is all the black mascara I have left. And so I had to put an emergency order into Colorado Cross Stitcher because I don't know if I'm going to have enough. Keep your fingers crossed, friends. So it went out in the mail yesterday. I might get it Saturday. I might get it Monday. So I'm trying to not do too much of the black in case I gotta like weave it in if the lots are too far apart. Right? That's a thing. I just couldn't believe that, you know, it's all the black I have left. Made me kind of nervous. I had to go back. So if you remember this project, when I kitted it up first, I was going to do it over 1 25 count Lugana. So they were going to be small. And I realized at the time, I didn't want to stitch on over 1 25 count Lugana. I didn't like it. So I switched to 28 count even weave. Coffee Tea dyed these 2 pieces of fabric at the same time, so they matched. And now I'm off to the races. Oh, because he's here and in the same bag. That's what he looks like. He's done. And he will be the same. So they will be companion pieces. Kind of excited. My pumpkin, if you look kind of close at the bottom, I pulled these stitches tighter. But I think I was trying to figure out how I wanted the pumpkin to look. So I was stitching it like this to begin with, and I didn't like it, so I started this way. So, I mean, it's a learn thing. You learn. I also made a huge mistake in this one. You see this flower? So this is the problem. In October last year, we were traveling. We were driving down to Colorado Springs to see Drew for a football game. Nancy came down and met us. Anyways, it was a great. We went ahead. Oh, we went ahead because we went to the Wyoming game the night before. So this was my travel stitch. Somewhere in there, I put it down and picked up something else. So then I put it away. Well, I made a mistake. This flower right here should look identical to this flower. They do not, because I forgot a whole color in this one. So I'm like 2 lines shorter on this side of my project than I am on this side. You can't really tell, except that should be 2 lines higher. So I had to think about how I had to finish it. Do I rip it out? But I had stitched these flowers. No, this side. Yeah. I had stitched these already twice before I realized where I made my mistake. Because I made my mistake a year ago. Kind of disappointed in myself. But it's a learning process, right? I keep telling myself, you're learning. Stop. Like, you will learn. And like next time you put a project away, mark where you finished so that you know, and then go back and double check your work if you're wrong. I didn't go back and double check last year's work. I was double checking this year's work, and I could not figure out where I was wrong. Bingo. I was wrong in last year's work. Whew. All right, so this one is my 12 Days of Christmas. There's like 3 or 4. Alicia and Annie are stitching these. I don't know. Like these were, I didn't need these in my life. And then I saw Jen and Alicia stitching on them when we were at the library stitcher retreat. And I'm like, I need those in my life. They're fun stitches. Fun, fun, fun. But again, I did not order the right amount of fabric. So here's 5, 6, and 9. Nope, no order, just whatever I feel like stitching. 10 started. 10 will be down here. And 10, and then maybe 11, 12, and then I'll go pick up the 7, 8, 1 through 4. I don't know. My goal was to have a few of these done a month so that I would have them done by Christmas so I could FFO them and hang them out. That could happen. Or maybe not. I don't know. We're traveling. These are an easy car stitch, so I might keep these as a car stitch for July. We're going to Seattle in July, at the end of the month, middle of the month, for my husband's work. I'm not working, my husband is. All right. Next, we're going to switch to the 24 and 24. Let me change my baskets around, and then I'll be right back. Okay, now 24 and 24. This is a oh, it's not stitch along. Pam from Just Keep Stitching, Pam and Steph, had an idea to do 24 starts in 24. And I thought that is genius. But I adapted it to fit me. And so what I did is I did 24 projects in 24. I really thought I knew I was not going to get them done. But I put whips in there that I thought I could tackle and think about getting done. So I feel pretty good about where I'm at. Except I kind of hyperventilated the other day because I was pretty sure I had like 50 whips. It's okay. I have 34 whips, not 50. So I was like, okay. Remember when I turned 50 and Nancy thought, you should do 50 starts for your 50th birthday? And I was like, that sounds horrible. It's overwhelming. And so it does get overwhelming for me. Because like I said, there's nothing I want to throw away or not work on ever again. Just some things I want to change because I'm young enough in the project that I have a small enough start in the project that I don't feel like I won't be able to get it done or that I'm wasting, a lot. All right, so here's where we're at. So for my 24 and 24, January I had Polar Plunge, which I'm in the middle of FFOing, and I had Let It Snow, which was a Barbara Annan design, and I finished both of those. In February, I did Coffee Block, and I finished that one. I started and finished that one. And I've got Christmas Quaker. All right, so this is where I'm at with Christmas Quaker. We started this at Thread Thy Needle Stitchery's retreat, Beach Please, down in Florida. And there's a whole lot of folks doing it, and it is fabulous. But here is from Leela's Studio. I am using a 32 count. I have got my own thread conversion with Cottage Garden threads and I bought the called for, so I have choices. But then I pulled Cottage Garden thread because they made me happy, and I'm learning, like they were new to me, and so I'm stitching on them. I'm using them to stitch. And here's where I am. And I did forget to put the little ball on Santa's hat, so I got to do that. I got to go back and do that on slow down, Jennifer. On the hat motif. But here she is. Am I in like Flynn? So in my mind, I was like, oh, I'll just do a Quaker a week. I'll do a motif a week, and I'll have it done by Christmas. Not happening. But if you're going to stitch Christmas in July, I might try to work a little bit on her. Ooh. Random thread. Have them all the time. So this one makes me happy. So she will stay out. All right. The next one I have is my Equality. Let me give you it's a Plum Street. Last year, for whatever reason, I was on a Plum Street kick. I started everything Plum Street. The Equality sampler. I just absolutely love her. I just wanted to sit and stitch on her. I made myself put her away. For no particular reason. I did do the DMC. I did not do overdyes on this one. I think Sandy is using overdyes, or Nancy, this disorderly stitcher is. One of the two of them. They are. Nancy and I are using DMC. I think. My sister Nancy. Here she is. That's her size. And she has got some massive fill-in. Oh, that needs to go over here. I do not want to not have things in their bag. I've got too big of a mess that will happen. And I got to work on a quilt today. I'll probably run errands today. That flag. Ooh, look at her. She's a big girl. But I'm happy with where I'm at in her, so I'm gonna just keep on plugging away. Because I do love her. And like I said, next year I want to do 24. I'm going to keep my 24 and 24s out, and I'm going to start my Liberty stitching and my Thanksgiving stitching. My sister made me this bag. I love it. Oh, maybe Nancy cut it out and Emma made it, my niece. All right, next. All right, so this was April's. No. Where does this guy belong? Scottish Queen. Oh, this is March. Yeah, March. Okay. So March here is, I saw Pam from Just Keep Stitching Pam, and she did Quakers in Scotland. Steve and I go to Scotland in September. So I'm like, this is going to be my Scotland stitch. And I'm stitching, this is Live and Die LA. Steve picked the fabric. And here's where she is. I'm only using one thread, so it doesn't look too thick. And this is not, where's half? I think this butterfly's half. So I don't have too much more over here. And then I'll start the ship down here. And then, so I have plenty of fabric here to do it. I was a little nervous at first I wasn't going to, but I do. And I'll just keep working away on her. But she's going to be my travel stitch. I'm 100% sure I will not run out of things to stitch on when I'm in Scotland, because there's a lot going on there. So I have not been making a ton of progress on it because I've been trying to ensure that, you know, this is the one I'm taking to Scotland on the airplane. I don't want to take a whole lot of stitches with me, so I'm just going to take one. Because we're trying to travel light. We're going to be there for 9 days. Really, my husband wants to drink 9 days worth of scotch. I want to take 9 days worth of pictures. So it all works out. All right, in April, I did Don't Feed the Plants and Mary Mary by Lindy Stitches. I don't know if you guys can say that I got a girl crush, but I kind of got a girl crush on Stephanie from Lindy Stitches. Her talent, her charisma, she just makes me happy. I love when she does a Flosstube. I love when she does a shop update. Her market release updates were spot on. But this was my first introduction to her designs, Lindy Stitches. And this one comes in like 2 color waves. And this is when I was like all brave and about myself. and I just did my own thing. I'm not gonna lie, there are moments I'm like, why did you think that was a good idea? And then there are moments I'm like, because it's mine and I love it. But this is, I'm not gonna lie, that skirt is a beast. She's a flat out beast. She's huge. But I wanted my name in it. So I took out Mary Mary and I did Jenny Jenny. And stitching it was a trick. I think I had to take one of my Jennies out. My last, I think, because I was too close to kind of make it even. Either that or I'm off a stitch somewhere in the skirt. And then I had to fudge the Jenny. But everything else seems to be working out okay, so. But when you look at it, you know, my skirt, and there's not a huge contrast between my Jenny and my skirt color, but they were the colors I picked, and I look at it now and kind of critique it, but at the time I was like, oh, it looks good, and these are the colors I love, so. But I had to come back in, and I added some colors down here that I originally had not picked, and she makes me happy. If you watch Two Needles Pulling Thread, you'll see that Kathy has a huge finish. She finished hers and is about to go find a frame for her, and I need to keep working. But this, what is this? This linen is an Ada, and it's a dye that Jody from Trixie Tricycles, Cedar River Linen and Design, that's her dyeing company, dyed, but is not currently in her stock. She has added things to her stock, but what I love about Jody's philosophy about her business is she really is trying to make sure that what she does is environmentally friendly. So her dye process is environmentally friendly, and I really like that. This is a bag stitched by Bougie Stitchery, Tracy, my friend, and she fits perfect in here. So, oh, this was a Christmas present from my children. The floss was. I actually was in the club, and then I saw the pattern. This pattern, I don't know why it speaks to me, but it did. And then I realized I had received a piece of called for. I'm sorry, can you see that? Yeah. Yeah, he's the right way. And this one has a little more green in it. It I don't know, green hues. Mine does not have as much green in it, but that's okay. And then, if you have not had an opportunity to stitch with the Stitch Me silks, I love them. They are so soft. I paid, well, I did not pay for them. My children paid for them. This was my Christmas present, was the floss pack for these. I am using Lori Holt's beeswax. I think I got it in a stitchy box from Fat Quarter Shop when I was in the club. I can't tell you how much I'm enjoying stitching with these. So, you just keep on stitching. This is one I could keep in my hoop all the time. But I don't want to keep a lot of stitches out there because when we have dogs, and Lord knows, there are days my puppy will be 2 in October, but he is great, and there are days that I'm like, when does the puppy stage end? The people that we got him from said, not before 3. So Jack, our first lab, is an old soul. He was past his puppyism by probably 2. No, before 2. 18 months. This guy will be 2 years. He is still, as the kennel likes to call him, a crackhead. Those are their high energy dogs. You're like, what? He gets walked daily, multiple times. There was a creek across the road. We let him swim in it all the time. He is getting very good on his commands. So, in all fairness, I should count my blessings, right? All right, this one. This was sent to me from a very kind viewer because she said she was never going to stitch it. I said if I was going to do a Mirabilia, I'd want to do the Raven Queen. And then I saw my friend Jody from Jody's Creative Studio stitching it. And I thought, and I want to do it just like that. And so I am. So here she is. This is my one Mirabilia that I'm stitching on right now. There are probably 2 others, but they are so expensive and sought after that I will probably never get to stitch them because I have so many things to stitch and I can't see myself spending $75 to $250 for the pattern when it becomes available. You know, my friend Sherry talked about, you know, us American women in our patriotic stitching. I think there just comes a time when you appreciate the fact that you love your country. And it's a pretty good country. Is it flawless? Oh, heck no. No, we are not flawless. We have some big old warts. Some of them sit right on top of our face. But having served in our military for 26 years, I'm going to say that this is a country I'm proud to live in. Because you know what? Our mistakes are out there and we're working on them. And they are works in progress. They are not perfected. We have huge issues ahead of us that we've got to tackle. But again, proud to be an American. But those are the 2 that I'd want, Lady Liberty and the Justice one. There's the 2 that I would want to stitch. So someday, if I'm lucky, I will find them, or I will be gifted them, or they will be reasonably priced. But for right now, I'm working on my Raven Queen. And she is fabulous. This is my first time stitching in a scroll frame. And I did that because my friend Leslie stitched her Lady Liberty in a scroll frame. And it was a borrowed pattern, so she had to send it back to whoever loaned it to her. Otherwise, I would ask to borrow her pattern. So that's why she didn't share it with me. I'm sure she would if it was hers to own. Anyways, she makes me so happy. I'm just stitching her. I'm not stitching all the stuff around her. So, and I'm enjoying this, so I have no idea. I don't want to take her off the scroll frame, and I don't want to store. I don't know. I'm not quite sure I want to store it. I think there's shops on Etsy who make scroll frame covers, you know, that you can carry them around in. So I have a sewing machine. I'll figure it out. But I'm loving it. I have all the beads. I have everything. What I need to do with that one is just make it my Friday stitch. And decide if I'm going to do the skin 1/1 because Leslie and Jody both did skin 1/1 on the Mirabilias and they look fabulous. So maybe Friday mornings I just sit down for an hour and work on 1/1. Maybe. It's a plan. Oh, my Mother's Day gift. I love it. We have talked about this one a million times. You must know I've got the perfect spot in Steve's bar. I'm starting to take all the military paraphernalia or propaganda, whatever you want to call it, out of our basement. A lot of it it's fabulous gifts that we were given as we were, you know, going through our years, starting when we were lieutenants. It's a lot. And we have fabulous gifts, so I don't want to complain about it, but this gift, what I want to do is I want to start taking some of that stuff down, because when my kids die, or when we die, my kids are not going to want a flag that says Second Lieutenant Ali on it. So even though I have one going into the military, he's not going to want all that stuff. So I thought maybe I'd make a scrapbook with all my guide-ons and just a capture of my career, and keep a few things that I think are special. Like, anyways, it doesn't matter. What matters is I have a plan. And this is it. I'm going to continue to work on this one. My friend Holly, she is also working on it. She is moving right along. I was worried. So this is what makes me giggle. I was worried about length and width. I know there's plenty of fabric here because I literally have a blanket of fabric here. And this is how wide it is. She is going to be a big girl. I measured it 3 times. I used 3 different calculators. I knew I had enough fabric this way, but I was nervous. So that's end to end. She's this big. I started just to stitch the border, and then I got excited about this, and then I wanted to do the bird, and the peacock is right here. So I just want to get to a spot. Here's the deal. We've got plans. I am going to work for my boss through the end of the year, and then I'm quitting. She knows, because I'm going to start my own thing. That's all I'm going to say. Super excited about it, though. Say I'm super excited about it. I hope that I will always be able to spend time with big projects in my hope. It's a work in progress. But this fabric and these flosses are all by Roxy Floss Co. Roxy is the parrot that's on the floss drops. She is a dyer out of Canada. Evertote is the shop that she sells her stuff out of. Her and her we talked about it. I had their names all wrong. Carrie and Caroline had them wrong. I had no idea what I was talking about. To say all that, I was sitting there one day and I was talking about being nervous about not having, oh, I got a snag. Hang on. I mean, it's linen, so there's sloughs, right? Oh, it's on the back side. Okay, never mind. I'll fix it later. To say that, they emailed me, or they sent me a text in one of our things and said, hey, you have plenty. Here's what you need. And I was like, I know I have plenty. I just didn't want to cut it because it's like cutting your baby. Like, no one wants to cut their baby. So I'm just right now, Nancy's offered to serge it for me. I have all the skills, all the things I need to make it right. I'm just a nervous Millie. All right, that is my first 6 months. To give you a status, I've got 4 done, and everything else is a work in progress. 4 of the 24 I have done as of the first of the year. Now, here's my second half of the year. And here's where I have to do some thinking. Of these, I have 1 done. So Ruth was one that I had on the docket and I pulled out because I knew I just had time to do some black stitching and we were traveling and I thought this will be easy to do, so I did that. I've got 2 in July that I'm starting for my Christmas in July. The one's kind of Halloween-y. I have August is when in Wyoming we vote in our primary. And if you don't vote in the primary, you don't get to vote in the general without going and re-registering because you get dropped from the rolls. Wyoming doesn't play. You either vote or you're out. I mean, you can get back in. They don't ban you, but you just have to go, you have to do the work to get back in. So I pulled my voting ones, or the ones that made me feel like if you're not an activist, but maybe you are an activist. I don't know. But ones that made me think about that when I was stitching on them. I've got 2 in September. 1 is done. 2 in October. 2 in November. And then I got 2 more in December. So that's where we're at. Let's see, where am I at? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. I've got 5 whips left. That's all I've got. The rest are not whips. That's not a whip. That's not a whip. These 2 are whips. So, for those of you who know, Rebel Stitcher is amazing. We love her. This is one of her very first designs. Nancy and I fell in love with it. It's called Women of Honor. She has all the women, plus her daughter's initials. I know Elf is her daughter's. I don't know who SWM is. Anyways, what Nancy and I are doing is trying to decide who we want to have up here. She gives you a complete alphabet, so you can pick a name who you want to put in here. I want to put my family in here too, the women of my family. And so I just haven't got it all figured out yet. But this is Fiber on the Wind Cappuccino. This is where I'm at. And this is coming out in my August rotation. All the called for colors. I don't think Nancy's going to stitch the... Oh, hang on. My needle just... Oh, there it is. No, it's not my needle. Sorry. Wrong panic moment. It was this thing. So I'm going to pick, you know, the women. I worked for a lot of amazing generals. Two that I have a lot of respect for. My friend Kirsten. My sister, my mom, my grandmother. So there's a lot of people I want to put in here. So I gotta think about that. And I'm putting Ruth Bader Ginsburg in here because I think she was she is one of my heroes. I cried a lot when she passed. I know people will die. I don't have to like it. All right, my other one is Colleen from Rebel Stitcher reached out and showed me her finish. I loved it. She combined two patterns together. Oh, time out. Where is my pattern? Uh-oh. I don't know where the stitch is. I really don't know where the stitch is. I have to go. I'm panicked now. I don't know where my stitch is. Clearly not in my bag. Hang on. I'm back with my stitch. Ooh, I thought I'd taken all the stitches out of my project roll. Apparently I left one in there, and that was this one. So this is my very first adventure onto 32 count. Not too bad, if I don't say so myself. Anyways, where am I on here? Like, where am I on the pattern? Oh, there it is. I'm only here. I've got this first one done. Honestly, I think if I just sat down and worked on it, I'd have it done, and I could post it back here with my Americana stuff. Just need to get it done. I love it. There's no reason why I can't have it done this year. She is going to be a focus piece for me in August, so I got that from In Stitches in Alexandria, Virginia. They're a great little LNS if you are anywhere in the area to pop in and see them. It was during COVID. You had to stand in line to get in. They only let a few folks in at a time once kind of Virginia started to open back up. So, but it's what it is. All right, let's see what we got. Okay. You are going to laugh at this. I had a really hard time last October dealing with Drew not being home. I don't know why October bothered me. I think it's because it's his birthday month, and it's the month that we always loved because we decorate. He'd come into the house, and I wasn't going to decorate his last year of school, right? I think we talked about this because I'm like, it's just a lot of work, and no one really appreciates it, but I love excuse me, this talking all by yourself is hard. Anyways, I had said, I'm just going to, not decorate. And then I thought, well, he's a senior. I should do it. He came in the house. He's like, Mom, you decorated. The house looks spooky. And that's our keyword for Halloween, him and I. And I was like, I just started bawling. So then I thought, I'm going to do this. So I have had this in I want to stitch on it for a long time. And I pulled it out. My friend Tracy from Bougie Stitchery. And I think Deb. Maybe someone else is stitching it too. Anyways, here it is. The Cricut Collection Skeleton Crew. It cracks me up. So I'm like, well, I'm not going to stitch it on that. I'm going to stitch it on this. I think this is when I'm going to figure something else out. I want that white to pop, and it really doesn't. So there's 3 little half stitches in it. I'm going to pick a new fabric. It'll be fine. But I have till October to figure it out because This is one of my October stitches. I'm doing all the called for. I'm not gonna overthink it. My friend Angie from Tiny House Stitcher made this bag for me. There's plenty of room in it. It's just there's a lot of fibers. All DMC. And I just need to find a different fabric. I will do that. I'm not going to struggle with this. I'm just going to pop it in there. I'll fix it later. All right. My last two whips, right? My last two are my November focus projects. Because these have been with me a hot minute. Like, come on. They need to get done. All right. So, for those of you that have been with me for a minute, the Gather In. Somebody reached out to me in one of our early on Flosstubes and says, "Oh, I have this pattern and this pattern." I'm like, "I have them both. Pick one. We'll stitch them together." I'm not sure where she is on hers. And I don't know why I just can't settle in and stitch on this thing. But I'm not settled in. But that's all the wider she is. But she's a big house. But it would be fun to have her done. So I could, like, in November, I could maybe put her done. But like I said, she's a big house. And I've got mistakes in her. I am not going to stitch this bottom fence. Right there. You see the fence? I'm not stitching that. I'm just going to do some... I'm just going to kind of end it like that. It's okay. It's mine. I want it. I want it to be done. And at the rate I'm going, she's never going to be done. So I go back and I find that's a piece of lint. I find a stitch that doesn't quite match up, or I've got it in the wrong hole. Because again, this is that 28 count even weave from Hobby Lobby that I coffee tea dyed. And I've got two pieces. I actually have 4 pieces on it. And I had to go back and get new floss because I didn't have enough. And I'm trying to get the variegation. So I'm stitching over one, and it's just tedious. So I just need to get it done. I don't have any of the sunflowers done. Probably not going to put the date in it. I took all the words out because I wanted them out. But it's all called for. It's all weeks. Oh. Does this have mascara in it? It does. I found some mascara. Maybe I'll take it out of there and put it in my buzz off. All right, the second one I started last year. Super excited because in my mind, I'm going to get this all stitched. It'll all be done in a couple weeks. I'll just be done in a couple weeks. And I'm not because of life. I usually stitch in the evening when Steve and I are watching TV. Or he's watching TV and I'm stitching. But, you know, makes me happy. This is Cinnamon Stars, right? That was Gather In. This is Cinnamon Stars. My friend from Bobby from Pumpkin Creek Primitive had this. She's like, we should start it. And I think all of us on her live that day were like, oh, I have it. I'm like, I have it. Why am I not stitching it? And then I think my friend Julie, who's stitching the quilting bee with me, is working on it. But here's where I am. I got the house done last year. I was pretty proud of myself. And then I guess I just need a nap. I don't know why I can't seem to get this thing done. I do, because Christmas happened. And I didn't want to stitch on fall at Christmas time. I am kind of a seasonal stitcher, so I am aware of that. So I have to be mindful of that. So she's a fun stitch. Like the house is done. I just got to do all the stuff around it. And it's not hard. Not hard at all. All right, those are my whips. Those are 34 whips. Now, my 24 and 24 plants. I have actually, since January, I have touched all the things I was going to touch except for one. And that was a cost for the red, white, and blue. I'm going to move that to next year. So if I have, when I get a finish next year, so in January when I get my first finish, I'm going to start something. And then I'm going to finish something else, and I'm going to start something. Because I really need to thin down. I'm still starting lots of things. I haven't stopped myself from starting anything. I just want to make sure that I'm mindful of it. Because I've got a whole pile right here that I'm going to show you in a minute. And those are all the things that I've kitted that I want to work on. All right, but let's finish this really quick. So, Christmas in July. I will pull out my whips. I will work on those. And then my friend Kim posts the Christmas Eve by Prairie Schooler. And I'm like, oh, I want to stitch that. But somebody stitched it in a blue version. And I'm like, that's what I want to do. So see, already down a rabbit trail I do not need to be down. But I saw my friend, she's not my friend. I follow her on Flosstube. I follow her on Instagram. I absolutely think she's adorable. Lala D Stitches, Laura. She found a Cosford design, a Cosford Rise Stitchery. She's an American, married to a Brit, lives in the United Kingdom somewhere. I don't know where, sorry. But she posted her Holy Night. And when I went to her website, I had already had that one and this one saved as a favorite because I bought the red, white, and blue. And the red, white, and blue is what I wanted to stitch on this year during the summer. And I didn't get it kitted up. And I don't want to kit it up just yet because I'm overwhelmed. And if I kit it up now, by next year, I might be onto something else, meaning a thread, a linen. And so I don't want to get too far ahead of myself. So I'm waiting to kit things up until I'm ready. But this one I'm ready. It's Happy Christmas to All. I am going to stitch it on this piece of fiber. It is a 36 count tin roof. I used tin roof for something else. I can't remember though what it is, but I love stitching on it, so I thought I'm going to do it on 36 count. I may have to think about changing out one fiber. They're close. We'll see. I think everything else will pop enough. And I want it to kind of look rustic, so it'll be fine. Here she is. It's a PDF. That's why it's on paper. She does have patterns in LNSs now, so but I bought mine off of her website, off of her Etsy, Cosford Rise Stitchery. So that's one of my Julys. The other one, my friend, now for the life of me, I don't know if Kathy stitched it and it was Kathy's pattern, or Missy stitched it for somebody and then Kathy stitched it too. Two needles pulling thread, Missy and Kathy. If you know, you know. They're fabulous. Big crush on them. Friends with them. I've met them both in person. Oh, I love them. Anyways, again, Plum Street Sampler. 'Tis Halloween. Now, I think a video ago, maybe two, I'd said, I really think I want to go get the Belle Soie silks. So I looked them up. I looked them up on Lindy Stitches. I looked them up on 123 Stitch. They're just expensive. And they're expensive for colors that I may or may not use again. So I'm going to use DMC. My sister looked at me and she's like, why? Why do you think you need? And I'm like, because I haven't tried them and I want to try them. And my friend Shelly from Antique Needleworkers says that the Belle Soies are her favorite thing to stitch with. I also went over to Vicki Clayton to see if I could like pull hers, but 3 of her colors were the same color that you were going to need, you know, in these little snowflake looking motifs. So it wasn't going to work. Meaning if it called for Old Crow Wheatgrass, Attic Tea. They might all be the same color in a Victoria Clayton conversion. So because I don't have a full set of Victoria Claytons, I didn't want to try to figure that out. So I just went with a DMC. And if something doesn't make me happy when I'm stitching on it, I'll change it up using my DMC chart. All right, a couple more things. This is my birthday start. It's a Barbara Anna Mushroom Dreams. I don't have anything ready for it, except my sister. This is a New England stitcher. Her name is Stephanie. She made this for me. My sister bought it for me, but Stephanie made it for me. And I cannot wait to kit this up and slide it right in here. So excited. It's my Mushroom Dreamer in my mushroom bag. Mushroom Dreams in my mushroom bag. Don't ask me why suddenly mushrooms make me happy, but they do. So, I don't know how I add this. Doesn't matter. I do not have fiber. I do not have floss. I have nothing kitted up on that. I'll worry about that in August. Then, one that, you know, Nancy and I love a good gobble couple. I think I have 3 gobble couples left in my life to stitch, and then I don't think she's going to make any more. Who told me that? Maybe, it doesn't matter who told me. It was a reliable source that heard it from the source's mouth. And I get it. So if you are not RETM, if you're not following her as a designer, that's okay. But I think she's got fabulous designs. And so this is Sabrina and Harry Gobble Spell. I have fabric. I think this is a piece of X-Jude design that I stitched my my Blackbird design cardinal on. And so I pulled it. I pulled these fun colors that make sense with this fabric. I changed it up a little bit, but I'm stitching them. And my last 24 and 24 that I do not have kitted, and I might, no, I have 2, sorry. I had a fib. I had 2. Oh no, I wrote. So, if you remember when I went to Crazy Woman last year, we sat with a lady named Cynthia Johnson, no T in it. She's a Wyoming stitcher. Her daughter lives here in Sheridan with me, so I get to peek in on her every once in a while. But she was stitching these, and I love them. And they are huge. These 2 guys right here are huge. But I'm going to stitch them. Huge. They're huge. Can I tell you they're huge? They're huge. But this is an old pattern. I had to go on I found it on eBay. It was 1990. I was a junior in high school when this pattern was made. I love it. So, they're getting kitted up. I bought 2 big tubes of 28 count Monaco mushroom Lugana color looking. They're going forward. And then I have Holy Holy Night. Holy Holy Holy. It is a manger scene. I saw Laura from Lala D Stitches stitching on it, and it spoke to me. So this will be my December stitch. I might move this stitch to next year because it's a lot. It is, so first of all, it's a 90 stitch, which means there's some back stitching. And there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 33 DMC colors needed for this. And I already have a Nutcracker kitted, but not started. So I might switch these 2 out. I'm doing some thinking on that. I started thinking about that today. All right, so let me stop this, put it away, and then I'll get my kits out, and then I will send you on your way. Hi, I'm back. All right, you probably didn't miss me, but this is where I took all the kits that I had in my first basket that I probably am not going to, I'm kidding. I'm just going to go to Walmart and get a new basket because I want to do them. Like, these are ones I had on the schedule somewhere, I docketed it somewhere, and then for whatever reason, life overcame me. I got busy not doing them right now. But I am. Like, you're going to see 2 of them come out here shortly. This is a kit that Statehood, Splendor, Wyoming. I want to stitch it a couple more times, for one for my sister, one for my brother, and one for me. So, but I have plenty of fabric, plenty of floss. It literally took me a day. 3 days, I have 3 more done, and then I can unkit that. So that's staying kitted up. It's one of those that I might stick into my work stitch. You know what I mean? Because there are some days I get to stitch at work. There are some days I don't get to stitch at work. If those of you remember, Gamma Treasure made these fabulous bags for us. I love them. But I have 2 turkeys. I have got the fabric from Cedar River that I think I'm going to stitch them on. I've not done the floss toss yet because I wanted to share those in our next video before I do that. And they are, and I've got the fibers. I just need to put it all together. They are my turkeys, my Miss Prim floating turkeys. Somebody in our last video posted that she could see me trying to match my floss outside with the turkeys when they get, because they're really quite blue in the face. And I bought like a gazillion blues when I was at Reflections. Yes, that is true. I want to take my floss out there, and so I'm always trying to get the right, I've got a gazillion pictures of these turkeys, trying to just get the right picture, to get the right blue. Anyways, crack myself up. And then I've got this one, Turkey Day. I think the other person I saw stitch this was Lolity Stitches, and they just, what it is. I'm going to stitch them both. And I've got this in my turkey bag. I'll get the linen. I think I'm going to try to stitch them both of them. Maybe not. I don't know. I haven't quite got there. But these are 2 that are kitted. That's 3 kits, right? Oh my gosh. Guys, this one, I know exactly who I'm sending this to. I'm just waiting on my rainbow stuff to come in. Merman Cove. I'm sorry. These guys crack me up. And I love it. Dirty Annie. Stitching them. I'm stitching some mermen. You guys remember when COVID was happening and the memes were going around because we were all afraid we were going to be back in the apocalypse? Well, somebody came out and said, I don't remember the meme, something about men in skinny jeans, and I bet you're looking at that 40-year-old bear thinking he's the man now. I don't know. I got a man who can start a fire, play with a chainsaw, not kill himself, take me to the mountains, not lose me, doesn't know how to fire a weapon. Anyways, I received this last year as a stitch from a swap. I wanted to do Prairie Schooler Santas. I just keep telling myself, how do I want to think about them? And so the lady who was so amazing sent me the pattern. I believe she sent the fabric too, but I stuck it over in my fabric, and sent me the floss. How do I want to do them? Do I want to do them as ornaments? Do I want to do them as smalls? Do I want to be able to, I don't know, how small do I want them? Do I want them tiny? Do I do them on 36 count? Do I do, you know what I mean? I've got all these things. She sent me scissors. That's the card she concluded in my package. And I'm not unkidding it. Just telling you right now, she's not getting unkitted. I love this bag. That's what made me think to do those gnomes in a bag. Right there. Brilliant. All right. These two make my husband so happy. I also have a book that have the same characters in them. If you are a child of the 70s, maybe the 60s, I don't know. These two Santas, Rudolph and Santa, are exactly what our Santa and Rudolph looked like when the animation started. These are, and it's so Emma. This is a fat quarter box. I think you can buy these now. I had a very kind viewer. There's your letter. Send me hers because I gave mine away and then I went back and no, I stopped the box and then this came. I can't remember. I have all the flosses. I have to find the fabric and I want to stitch them. So I'm not taking them out of this bag. There's some more things I got good at. This is my nutcracker. Oh my goodness. So Missy and I were going to start it. And we were going to do some changes to it. And then I saw Sarah from Sarah Memphis-y. Sarah E. Memphis. Why do I do that to her? I'm going to get fired. This is why I need my sister. My sister keeps me straight. This is an RETM, the Nutcracker. I love the Nutcracker. I don't know why. So I think I found the right fabric. It is a, what is it? 32 count. I think it's a 32 count. She's going to be so big on 32, but it's a weeks. No, it's not. I lied. It is Picture This Plus Wren, 28 count. But I think because the weave is so tight that I can do it one strand over 2 linens and get away with it. I have to try. I mean, I got a blanket. This is a blanket. I don't know why I have so much of this. But it was 32 count. It was Picture This Plus. And I snapped it up and I bought it and I was so proud of myself. This is my first time stitching on Picture This Plus, I think. Maybe. I'm pretty sure. It seemed like it was a really tight. But then now that I'm stitching on 36, it's like no big deal. But at the time it was a big deal. I have all the called for. I think. Maybe I don't. Maybe I'm missing one. Oh no, I got it. 700. I was missing 700 and I got it. Yeah. Or 833. I don't know. I have it. Why am I not just doing it? So I might just start that one in Christmas time and try to get, you know, a couple Quakers. The Nutcracker, the Mouse King. They're going to be, there's some dense Quakers in here, so, or motifs, not Quakers, motifs. So I might not get it all. But to me, this makes sense. It's 90% there. I just probably need to take it out, polish it up, commit to that fabric or not. I have plenty of 36 count. I could probably, if I wanted to go smaller. This one makes me happy. I had it all ready for next year, or last year as a December start. This is the size of fabric you need to do the block parties. You will have extra. You only need like the top half. It's a 28 count. The dogs are getting restless. I think they need, oh, it is lunchtime. I must have been talking for hours. You guys are going to have to fast forward some of this. It's okay. You won't hurt my feelings. This is more for me than you. It's my therapy. Anyways, this is 25th. hands-on design block party. Could have put some thought into that one. Maybe I'll start it in July, and then it'll just be a whip, and then I won't put it away. These next two, I have everything. I think you guys have seen me stitch the little blackbird. It was a few, I don't know. It was one of my first starts. Well, they also had a red one. It's called Lovebird. And I'm going to stitch it. I probably will not stitch love onto it. But I'll figure that out when I get to it. But I have the other part of the linen. I've already stitched the blackbird on. So this is the red bird. And I've got the same linen. And then I've got the floss. These little guys take, I probably have it done in a week. If I start to finish how I normally stitch, like not sitting down focused on it, but stitching in the evening, putting a few stitches in it in the morning if I have time before I go to work. Just get it done, right? And last but not least, Abe Lincoln. I got this from Stitching with the Sisterlies. I think Cheryl reached out to me. I'll have to go back and, I don't know, it was a while ago, like it was like over a year ago. My first year here, I think. And I was very intimidated by it. Scared the bejesus out of me. But I'm a huge Lincoln fan. Like, why? Why did it scare me? I don't know. I'm more confident in my abilities now. To read a pattern, to pick floss, to pick linen, to stitch on linen I'm comfortable with. So I think this is going to be my first start next year in January when I start my Liberty stitching. I think. And that's done. I'm done. So, thank you for, if you stuck with me this whole video, you are a saint and a true friend. And I cheer you with my cuppa because it's a hot mess. Walker's getting up. You getting up? Come on. You want to get up on the chair? Come on. Come on, you can get up. This is what he does. Come on. You want to say hi? No, that's my cup of coffee and you are not drinking it. But if you'd like to get up, you can. We'll see if he gets up. So, I'm not sure what your 4th of July plans are. Nancy and I will hopefully be with you stitching on the 4th, maybe. We're going up to the mountains, but, you know, that weekend, maybe this next weekend, Nancy and I will be able to get together and film a scheduled Flosstube like we like to. This stitching without, this filming without my sister is tough. She's my yin to my yang. I really do appreciate my sister and I love her dearly, so we will, sorry, a little risque there. We need to keep, but we didn't want to go too long without a regularly scheduled program. I will tell you the entire time I've been here, I've had my BenQ light shining. I think it's maybe the new way to go for us for lighting. It's great lighting. It has this amazing shape and design. So again, I've already talked about it earlier in the video, so I'm not going to belabor it a little more, but know that it's great light. I love it. And you can turn it up or turn it down, depending on what you need the light for. So with that, thank you again for subscribing. Thank you for being a part of our adventure, our cross-stitch adventure. Thank you for the comments. Thank you for reaching out. If you want that stitch, the word is Christmas. I'm just going to send you the stitch. I won't be sending you the pattern or the floss, but it's all DMC, so don't feel like you can't match it. With that, we will talk to you soon. Happy stitching. Maybe I can shut this.
Nice.
I don't know. That's what I do.
All right, until next time.
Until next time, happy stitching.